Well, it's probably not up rather.
That's why
That's why I got it for 2 games. You can confidently think my exactly. Yeah. Maybe because he brings candy, so that
Look up on sometimes I wonder what she said.
well, I did say it's not as and I took the students, I said, it's like your hamburger. You probably know it's better. I used my hand alone. And you were all like, I was like, my God.
Well, she wants to see it. That's what actually, I thought I should have. I kept talking about what said I'm sign or something. Now they have like salmon. I was thinking
All right, guys, if I can direct everybody to their seats, we'll get started in just a minute.
That's what I saw in the email.
Good afternoon. I'm Chris Sullivan. I'm the Associate Dean for Professional Development here at the School of Medicine, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you all today to the 2023 Faculty Awards and Promotion Celebration here at the school. And I'm on the Faculty Awards Review Committee, and I'm always so humbled and amazed when I start reading about all the accomplishments of our faculty. And so this year is no different. The people that are receiving awards and the people that have promoted, they're amazing people, and so it's always a wonderful afternoon. So we recognize faculty who have distinguished themselves as recipients, again, of our School of Medicine or University Excellence Awards for their significant contributions. And additionally, we will celebrate 61 faculty who have promoted this year for their efforts in teaching, service, clinical practice, and/or research as determined by their promotion committees. The order of today's celebration will be that we will first do the School of Medicine awards, followed by university-based awards, and finally announcing faculty who have promoted. At this time, I would like to introduce Dean Jackson for some opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sullivan. I join with you in welcoming all of you to this important event where we honor the achievements of our colleagues. I want to give a shout out to the hard work of Dr. Sullivan and her Faculty Awards Committee as we celebrate those who demonstrate outstanding clinical research service and teaching accomplishments. This past year has been especially significant for this medical school as we completed groundbreaking for our new buildings on the Health Science District campus and our St. Joseph campus. We're excited to welcome our 11th and 17th, respectively, cohorts into our PA and MSA program, and to extend offers to our MD candidates, which will include the 4th cohort who will join our students on the St. Joseph Mosaic campus. I want to give a special shout out to Drs. Wacker, Cuddy, and Sarah Gardner for their work to launch our rural longitudinal rotations and to continue to build our preceptor network. While the HRSA grant has funded much of this work, it would not be successful without the many staff and faculty engaged in the success of our rural program. So thank you. Our research discovery program continues to grow with national acclaim in many of our strength areas. And I look up and I see directly Dr. Kulin, and with vision science being one of our key areas, addiction medicine, oncology, cardiovascular and metabolic medicine, maternal fetal medicine, and surgical safety. And I know I saw Dr. Sutkin somewhere in here. Our medical school is nationally on the rise. We were so proud to receive yesterday the AAMC's Spencer Foreman Award for Outstanding Community Engagement. And for those of you who don't know, there's only one school nationally that's chosen for this honor, and there are roughly 140 medical schools that are part of the AAMC. And as we competed for this award, and we realized we were one of the 2 finalists, we were very excited, but then we wanted to win. And so with Dr. Jeanette Berkeley-Patton as the centerpiece of our work, but combining with more than 40 individuals who represented our students, our community affiliates, our faculty here, our programs that connect us to the community. I think we put on quite a good program for the AAMC visitors, and not only were we recognized at their virtual award ceremony, but Dr. Berkeley-Patton and I will be going to the AAMC national meeting in Seattle, and on November 5th, the formal reception will actually be able to, in person, receive our award. Another item that I wanted to share with you, just to highlight how our School of Medicine continues to be on the rise, is we received news just a couple weeks ago that Dr. Catherine Spong, who's a 91 graduate of our medical school, has just been elected to the National Academy of Medicine. So for those of you who don't know about the National Academy of Medicine, this really is the highest achievement that any physician can receive. There are about 1 million, more than 1 million physicians in this country. Each year, there are about 90 individuals who are elected to the National Academy of Medicine. That's 0.008% of physicians. And they're recognized not only for their professional achievements, but also for their service within their communities. And for those of you who met Dr. Spong when she was here at our AOA lecture, and I don't know if Dr. Foxworth is here, but he was spot on in selecting her for that important lectureship. She came here and gave 3 amazing lectures that not only shared with us her academic excellence, but her passion for mentoring students, her warmth, and her affection for our School of Medicine. We also recently installed new endowed chairs, and Dr. Bratcher and I were over at Children's Mercy with Dr. James. And I wanted to highlight that one of our own School of Medicine Office of Student Affairs Assistant Academic Deans, Dr. Bridget Jones, was installed as the Marion Merrill Dow Endowed Chair for Clinical Pharmacology. And the reason I wanted to share this with you is because she becomes the first Black woman physician in the history of our medical school who's received an endowed chair. So it was a very great honor and richly deserved by her. Also wanted to share that a couple of our other programs, which are receiving national praise, include our Quality Improvement and Patient Safety Program that's led by the Reudu Endowed Chair, Dr. Mamta Reddy. This program, which pairs faculty and students together to study and improve certain quality improvement necessary areas of investigation has been highly successful, and there are individuals across the country who are asking to know more about this so that they can implement such a program. Also, our inaugural Mindfulness in Medicine curriculum launched with Drs. Jody Jackson, Stacy Algren, and Chris Sullivan just a few months ago, and this makes us the 16th medical school in the country to train our students as advocates for well-being in medicine. Our students actually are the ones that continue to bring acclaim to our school as they engage not only in prestigious national research programs, and Dr. Wacker is out there somewhere, yes, and I think we are seeing an increasing interest in research, and as we write these letters for our students for these opportunities, I would take them in a hot second and want them to come back into our institution, which hopefully they do after they go not only here but around the country into amazing residencies. Lastly, I reviewed my remarks from the last couple of years for this faculty awards ceremony, and I realized that a centerpiece of the comments related to COVID. So I had to, I'm an ID doc, right? I'm looking at Dr. Adiga here. So you know I'm going to say something about it. And what I'm saying is, as the COVID pandemic has receded, we've used those lessons learned to respond not only to SARS-CoV-2, but new strategies to counter RSV. For the first time, this very important pathogen in the pediatric, but also in the adult pathogen population, may be on our list of diseases that are vaccine preventable. We are seeing the newest influenza season unfold, and if what our Southern Hemisphere colleagues have seen, we are going to have an intense season that's going to have a high impact on our children. And so this gives me an opportunity to remind you all to get vaccinated if you're not already. We look forward to our future when our first students will graduate from our St. Joseph rural campus, when our PA program will double in size as we expand to Columbia, Missouri, and when we launch our combined 7-year biomedical engineering medicine program. And thank you to the hard work of Dr. Gardner as she's worked with Professor Blumker to start us on our way. So what I want to say to you all is the most important part of this is you are the fabric of our School of Medicine. It is your blood, sweat, and tears, talent, energy, hard work, and resilience that fuel each and every accomplishment. Thank you all for what you do on behalf of our students, for our patients, and for each other, and I look forward to our future. Take it away, Dr. Sullivan.
So we will begin by announcing the recipients of the School of Medicine Faculty Awards. Faculty were nominated by students, alumni, residents, fellows, and/or faculty for their accomplishments based on the qualifications for each award and were determined by the Faculty Awards Review Committee. I would like to thank the members of this committee for their thoughtful and comprehensive review of each nominated faculty in making their award decisions. Several of them, I believe, are in this audience. If you are on this committee, please stand up and be recognized. The first award is for Excellence in Diversity and Health Equity in Medicine. This award acknowledges and celebrates faculty engaged in efforts that create a more inclusive institutional culture that promotes success for all and recognizes efforts to advance the understanding of health equity, health disparities, cultural competence in medicine, and greater access and opportunities for our surrounding community. And here's our past recipients, and unfortunately last year's recipient was unable to attend today, so it's my great pleasure to announce that the 2023 recipient of the Excellence in Diversity and Health Equity in Medicine Award is Dr. Tyler Smith. And she informed me that she couldn't be here today, but we will still recognize her for her accomplishments. She promoted to Associate Professor of Pediatrics this year and is the Associate Dean for DEI for the School of Medicine. Her philosophy about diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice stems from her foundational roots in two concepts, one which is servant leadership, and the Ghanaian word Sankofa, which means go back and get it. She lives the work that she does, and it is through this embodiment that she has made substantial contributions at a school, hospital, community, and national level. She was appointed as the first physician DEI dean at a critical point in history with the pandemic, said that word, and heightened awareness of racial and social injustice with the murder of Mr. George Floyd. The complexities of ensuring that marginalized and underrepresented students felt safe, that their voices would be heard, and that they had the resources to continue their education during remote learning were enormous, and Dr. Smith responded with compassion and dedication. She collaborated with DEI office personnel, the School of Law, and DEI advocates at the school in implementing the first anti-racism and cultural bias curriculum at the school. Ensuring that DEI remains on the forefront, she serves on numerous committees, councils, chair searches, etc. Her office's initiatives are numerous, and in large part due to her contributions, the school was awarded both in 2022 and just, I think this week, 2023, the Insight into Diversity HEED Award, which is very prestigious. Dr. Smith was appointed by Governor Laura Kelly to serve on the Kansas Children's Cabinet and Trust Fund that helps manage $100 million budget supporting early childhood initiatives for resource-limited, marginalized, and minoritized communities. If it had just been $100, probably just needed one person to do that. Nationally, in 2022, she received the American Academy of Pediatrics Special Achievement Award for Distinguished Service to the mission of DEI for the Kansas chapter. Nationally, she has developed multiple resources and educational materials, given grand rounds, and published in DEI. In July, she was an invited guest editor for a themed section of Pediatric Annals focused on DEIJ. As a student who has served on several councils with Dr. Tyler writes, quote, "When Dr. Smith speaks, you can tell she is speaking for all students and truly advocating for underrepresented students. It means so much to know that people like Dr. Smith are serving in these roles because I can feel like my concerns will be heard. Every medical school needs someone like her in leadership, as UMKC has already made great progress within the short time she's been here." Dr. Smith, again, is unable to be here today. Her office is right next to mine, so I will be able to get her award to her, but let's give her a round of applause. Next is the Dr. Christopher Papazian Excellence in Teaching Award. Dr. Papazian served as the chair of the Department of Biomedical Sciences from 1998 to 2017, and this award is a tribute to his outstanding teaching skills. This award acknowledges and celebrates a faculty member who has contributed to medical student pre-clinical education innovation at UMKC School of Medicine. Here's a list of the past recipients, and Dr. James Wooten, a former award recipient, will present the award.
Thanks, Dr. Sullivan. It is an honor to present this award. I just might add Dr. Papazian is a friend, and after I won, I don't know if he wanted me to win or not, but he emailed me, and he just wanted me to know how much he missed the school, how much he missed all the people that he taught with, but this award means a great deal to him. The 2023 recipient of the Dr. Christopher Papazian Excellent in Teaching Award is Dr. Maria Cole. Dr. Cole I have a lot to say about Dr. Cole. Dr. Cole is an associate teaching professor in anatomy and embryology. She teaches both at the School of Medicine and the School of Dentistry for medical and dental students, PA and AA students, and dental hygiene students, and I thought I taught a lot of classes, but she has been course director for 3 courses: Human Structure Function 4, Anatomy for Anesthesiology Assistant, and Regional Anatomy of the Thorax and Abdomen, and provides extensive teaching for 12 other courses at the school. Regarding her teaching philosophy, Dr. Cole believes that the grade is simply a symbol of a student's efforts, the manifestation of possibility into reality, but it's the process or the journey that really matters. She works to put this into practice, especially with students that are struggling. She enjoys working with students one-on-one to identify what changes will help them succeed, and then support them as they make those changes. Perhaps some of her students' comments best emphasize the deep impact she has had on their learning. One student says, Dr. Cole is super engaging. Her slides include a lot of photos and clinical correlations, which makes it very easy to stay focused on the lecture. However, what really keeps students focused is Dr. Cole herself, as her stories have helped me retain content. Another says Dr. Cole has a depth of understanding of multiple subjects as well as multiple learning styles, enabling her to answer and address student questions from a variety of resources. Extremely effective storyteller, which creates unforgettable reference to her material. Students never fear asking her questions, and her enthusiasm to answer those questions is always clear. She creates an environment that is lighthearted and enjoyable, even though she teaches a subject that is historically difficult. Dr. Cole takes the time to know students by name and gets to know them as individuals, not just students. This is very conducive to learning and helps reduce anxiety, which allows for more time to focus on real understanding and less time worrying about how difficult the subject is. And this is to let Dr. Cole and her husband know that it is an honor and privilege to teach with them both. So let's congratulate Dr. Maria Cole as the 2023 recipient is the Dr. Christopher Papazian Excellence in Teaching Award. Dr. Cole, please come down and accept your $1 million, oh wait, that was, I got that.
Please come down.
Is it a cat?
Let me get out of the way there. Heavy. Is it? Yeah, put a cat in it. And Dr. Wooten, if you want to take a picture with,
Jim?
no, the 3 of you or whatever, I don't know. I'll put this for you, Washington. I can put it.
Maria,
Yes.
congratulations.
Thank you, Jim. I don't know how to talk without an embryology slide behind me. I would like to thank Dr. Nichols and Dr. Wacker for nominating me for this award, and Dr. Wright for writing me a very good letter. She said if I won, it was all due to her. And the student comments were lovely. Chris Papazian hired me, and he let me come from an institution that was not familial. And I got to come somewhere where everybody gets along, we all like each other, everybody works toward the good of the student, and it's been such a wonderful experience. And I have so much enjoyed the time that I have got to spend here since I came over in 2016. So thank you very much for that and for the honor and for not making me put a picture up there. I don't do those, but thank you very much.
And And as each award recipient is named, again, please come down and please share a few words if you would like to. So the next is the Dr. Betty M. Drees Excellence in Mentoring Awards. These awards were established in recognition of Dr. Drees's esteem as a mentor. There are 2 awards that acknowledge and celebrate both a junior and a professor faculty who have made significant contributions to enhancing and developing the careers of faculty and trainees as a mentor by their generosity, listening skills, objectivity, and by providing constructive feedback regarding career and professional and personal development. We will begin with me taking a drink of water. With the Excellence in Mentoring, which is for junior faculty, and here's the past recipients. Last year's recipient is unable to attend, so it is my great pleasure to announce that the 2023 recipient of the Dr. Betty Drees Excellence in Mentoring Award is Dr. Amy Stubbs. Dr. Stubbs is an associate professor of emergency medicine, beginning with the department in 2006, and has held a leadership position in the residency program as assistant or associate or full program director since 2007, the longest term of any faculty member in the residency's history, in a program with 33 residents per year in a 3-year training program. This is an enormous task, from mentoring students interested in emergency medicine to guiding residents to obtain knowledge, skills, and behaviors to enter autonomous practice. Mentoring each resident is critical to them achieving competence. Dr. Stubbs, in her leadership, has mentored over 150 residents and over 50 medical students. She also dedicates significant time to mentoring department's faculty, including me, about how to embrace technology, provide effective feedback, and enhance their teaching skills. When writing about her mentoring style, Dr. Stubbs first acknowledges those who have mentored her, taking bits and pieces from them to develop her style over time. Flexibility and meeting people where they are is critical, including guiding them to choose the best choice for them. She feels it is important to share her own struggles so that it will help humanize her to her mentees, and it helps her keep humble and continuing to learn. Dr. Stubbs says, quote, "As an educator, one of my aims is to instill confidence in one's abilities while still having the humility to ask for help or say, I don't know," unquote, or no, not unquote yet. I believe guiding my students and residents with these realizations to be one of the most vital aspects of my job, both for patient care and their personal lives, unquote. Current chief residents for the program write of Dr. Stubbs, quote, "She has consistently demonstrated that she cares for her residents. If a resident is struggling clinically, she will meet with them and assist them in creating a plan for academic success. When this occurs, there is no shame in this process, only compassion. Dr. Stubbs displays empathy, compassion, and flexibility. She always leaves her door open if a resident is stressed or struggling. She serves as a unique mentor in the sense that she is outstanding in helping develop us as emergency medicine physicians, but also cares deeply about developing us as people. As we graduate in less than a year and try to picture ourselves as practicing on our own, the physician we hope to be most like is Dr. Stubbs," unquote. Let's congratulate Dr. Amy Stubbs as the 2023 recipient of the Dr. Betty Drees Excellence in Mentoring Award.
Thank you. I don't have anything especially eloquent to say. I am not one to apply for or get awards really ever, so I'm very taken aback and humbled by this. And I wanted to thank Dr. Algren for nominating me and my letter writers, especially my chief residents, and I believe Dr. Hillman and Subramanian, who couldn't be here, also wrote letters. So it means a great deal to me. I would just say, I mean, my favorite part of my job has always been getting that text from somebody who just graduated and saying, what would you do about this? Or I thought of you when this happened the other day. And so I hope to be able to continue in that aspect of my job for many years to come. And I also want to thank Dr. Sullivan for being an amazing mentor. And I see Dr. Steele here too. So thank you both for all of your support over the years too. Thank you.
And now for the Betty Dries Lifetime Achievement and Mentoring Award to recognize faculty at the professor level. Past recipient, Dr. Peter Kulin, will announce the recipient.
Yeah, I was very glad to see that it's actually called at the professor level in contrast to the junior level. There's usually another word that's being used to contrast junior. So with no further ado, the 2023 Dr. Betty M. Dries Lifetime Achievement in Mentoring Award recipient is Dr. Gary Sutkin. I was actually very surprised that he was not on the list of recipients from previous years, but no surprise. Whoever knows Dr. Sutkin knows that he belongs into this award category many times. So Dr. Sutkin is a professor and associate dean of women's health, and he also serves as the Victor and Caroline Schutte Chair in Women's Health in the departments of biomedical and health informatics and obstetrics and gynecology. Dr. Sutkin is deeply moved knowing that a student nominated him for this award, and the student writes, "It is quite rare to find faculty like Dr. Sutkin, who advocates for student success both inside and outside of the clinical experience, and is committed to their students' true aspirations and goals. He has opened the doors to professional opportunities that I would not have been able to achieve on my own. He's very intentional about meeting students where they are and providing advice specific to them. I'm grateful to him, and I'm privileged to be mentored by Dr. Sutkin." That's pretty amazing words. Dr. Sutkin's mentoring philosophy is grounded in empathy. He quotes, "My responsibility is to inspire mentees to think in new ways about their learning, about their career goals, and about how to achieve those goals. Empathy makes my mentorship not only learner-focused, but also highly rewarding. I've seen many mentees achieve their goals, and this fills me with joy." Dr. Sutkin has even shared his mentoring and clinical teaching approach broadly in a review article in Academic Medicine that has been cited over 500 times. The average citation number is below 1, so. He has mentored medical students, residents, fellows, and faculty both internally and externally. His mentoring list is absolutely substantial, in the hundreds. His mentorship extends across clinical practice, leadership, academic success, and research. Once established, a great number of these relationships become long-term. Impressively, he currently is mentoring over 50 individuals, including learners and faculty, to achieve their career goals. Let's congratulate Dr. Gary Sutkin as the 2023 recipient of the Betty M. Dries, MD Lifetime Achievement in Mentoring Award.
Oh, really? Like Dr. Cole, where's the cat?
Yeah, just thank you so much.
Speak there.
Oh, I have to go into the microphone? Okay. You know, mentoring is so learner-focused that it makes it really challenging to, you know, to get this and then especially to talk about it. I will say that I'm definitely, in my mentorship, I'm inspired by those who mentor me, including a lot of people in this room, and so I'm very grateful to them. I'll also say that, I mean, I love working and mentoring faculty and our GME learners, but what is truly special is the students here because of our ability to develop these long-term relationships with them, and I've really treasured that. I think we have the best students in the country. I'm especially honored that a student gave the initial recommendation, and of course just grateful for those who supported this. And then Chris, thank you, Dr. Sullivan, for all the work, because I know that it's not a small task to put all this together, so thank you.
So as you notice, Dr. Sullivan is not coming back to the microphone, but it is my great honor to announce the next award, which is the Dr. Louise E. Arnold Excellence in Medical Education Research Award. This award acknowledges and celebrates faculty who have contributed to innovation and scholarship related to medical education at UMKC. Last year's recipient is not here to share this awardee, but it is my great pleasure to share with you and to announce that the Dr. Louise E. Arnold Excellence in Medical Education Research Award recipient for 2023 is Dr. Christine Sullivan. Dr. Sullivan is a professor of emergency medicine and our Associate Dean for Professional Development. She, in fact, was a mentee, as many of us were, and collaborator with Dr. Arnold on numerous projects. Describing her medical education research philosophy, she remembers being advised early in her career, and I hope you all take note of this if you don't do this already, make what you have to do your scholarly work, and has used this to guide her path in her various leadership roles. She describes her educational research philosophy as progressing in 3 stages. Number 1, be curious, educate yourself, seek out mentorship and collaboration. Number 2, identify educational gaps and needs in your learners and the literature and pursue innovation and research to advance the educational environment. And 3, most important, I think, disseminate your scholarly efforts. Mentor and educate teachers to further enhance medical education and research. The 3 stages are in many ways continuous and occur in tandem, with the understanding at this point in her career that mentoring others is a priority. She cares deeply about providing a safe and effective learning environment and supporting developing learners and faculty. Examples include that she spearheaded and drafted the policy on standards of conduct for teacher-learner relationships, which was adopted by the school. She developed a standardized tool and process for GME programs to methodologically review their program against ACGME standards, including receiving formal feedback to guide improvement. She also developed the academic deficiency policy for GME that provides critical support for struggling learners and created a framework for communication and documentation of deficiencies to learners, including a process for remediation. To demonstrate support for residents, she developed our Ombuds program and our Resident Appreciation Day. She established a formal mentoring program for faculty, collaborated in implementing a scholars program to provide promotion guidelines for faculty, and provides ongoing development sessions, including a successful leadership book club. And if you were here earlier this morning, a wonderful workshop on innovation. In support of our students, she published a prospective article this year outlining a framework to support medical students' professional development during large-scale societal events, where she collaborated with 5 other School of Medicine faculty, many of them who are in our audience, including 4 from different specialties. She was also instrumental, as I mentioned earlier, in moving forward our new Mindfulness in Medicine year-long program for medical students that started this year. Nationally, she was appointed to the ACGME Review Committee for 6 years, serving as vice chair for 2 years. She's provided countless peer-reviewed and invited presentations on a regional and national level on educational research. And she has published articles and book chapters in medical education, focusing on professionalism, professional identity formation, communication skills, and the remediation of learners. Let's congratulate Dr. Sullivan as the 2023 recipient of the Dr. Louise E. Arnold Excellence in Medical Education Research Award. Dr. Sullivan, like Dr. Cole, is very humble and doesn't like the attention surrounding her, and actually was looking for the cat too.
Dr. Louise Arnold was a dear mentor and friend of mine, so to receive an honor or an award that is named in her honor means the world to me. I feel very grateful for all the opportunities that the medical school has provided me, and particularly the doors that Dr. Louise Arnold opened for me. I feel her presence in all the things that I do around medical education, and I, in her memory, try to live the words of Maya Angelou. I have it in my office. It says, quote, "I do my best because I'm counting on you, counting on me," unquote. Thank you. Moving on. Next is the Clinical Affiliate Teaching Award. This award acknowledges and celebrates a faculty member who is recognized for their clinical teaching of medical students, graduate program students, and/or graduate medical education residents and fellows. This award requires academic chairs to submit nominations. While it is possible to have a recipient from each of the major clinical affiliates, this year we only have one awardee. Here's our past awardees, and I would now like to have Dr. Denise Bratcher come to the podium to announce the Clinical Affiliate Teaching Award for Children's Mercy Kansas City.
So thank you, Chris. The 2023 recipient of the Clinical Affiliate Teaching Award for Children's Mercy Kansas City is Dr. Christopher Kennedy. Dr. Kennedy is a professor of pediatrics, having joined Children's Mercy in 1999, and was an early advocate for and instrumental in leading simulation education for Children's Mercy and the School of Medicine. He was initially the co-director and is now the research director for the Center for Pediatric Simulation and Resuscitation. Thanks to his efforts, high-quality interprofessional resuscitation simulation training is available, including state-of-the-art, truly state-of-the-art training in extracorporeal membrane oxygenation. Beyond his expertise sought locally and regionally, his reach is international with collaborations with trauma centers in the United Kingdom. Chris has a reputation nationally as a leader in medical education. Examples include his service on the board of directors for the Association for Pediatric Program Directors, for the ACGME, and he's chaired the Pediatric Emergency Medicine Fellowship Program Directors Group. In 2011, Dr. Kennedy was recognized by the American Academy for Pediatrics with a Lifetime Achievement Award for excellence in pediatric resuscitation training. Dr. Kennedy maintains a deep passion and an infectious energy for teaching learners clinically in the emergency department, including students, residents from multiple specialties, fellows, and allied health professionals. That is clearly exhibited if you watch Chris walk in today from his shift in the ED, excitedly telling me about a handful of interesting patients that he saw with residents and students and fellows today, and what great learning experiences those provided to all of them. Comments from his learners include, he is one of my favorite attendings because he encourages me to take ownership of my patients and critically think about them. Another, he supports my autonomy but is always available to supervise. Another, his teaching is evidence-based and he has a true passion for teaching. Frequent learner comments also reflect on his ability to create a safe, inviting, and positive, fun, and lively learning environment, which is so critical to our learners' success, and that he is most approachable. Notably, he has been recognized by the UMKC Emergency Medicine residents as the Children's Mercy Educator of the Year, an amazing 14 times throughout his career in our emergency department. He has received the Children's Mercy Daniel Scagliotti Educator of the Year Award, awarded by the pediatric residents in 2019, and was most recently the recipient of the Department of Pediatrics Established Career Educational Achievement Award in 2022. So please join me in congratulating my friend and colleague, Dr. Chris Kennedy, as the 2023 School of Medicine recipient of the Clinical Affiliate Prestige Award for Children's Medicine.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it back in the box.
I will probably smash that. I certainly don't have any pre-prepared speech. I am all about humility, and I do think it matters to say that the children of our country are at risk, even worse today than they have in the 30 years that I've been doing this. So please take any relationship that you have with a child or a family member very seriously in terms of the support and recognition that they may need for the onslaught, not only of anxiety and stress, but the stuff that we see every day, and the way that we are treated as physicians in those interactions are going to put us at risk as well. So please take care of yourselves. And I'm astounded by this, so thank you.
The next award is the Faculty Researcher Award. This award acknowledges and celebrates a faculty member who is recognized for their clinical and/or bench research, which contributes to the advancement of medicine, demonstrates collaboration and mentoring of learners, which could be medical students, resident fellows, or graduate learners, and faculty, and enhances the research reputation of the School of Medicine. Last year's recipient, Dr. Peter Coolin, will announce this year's recipient.
So it's me again. I'm truly honored to announce the 2023 award recipient of the Faculty Researcher Award, and it is Dr. Stephen Simon. I was hoping to see his Zoom image there that we all know so well from the Zoom meetings, but that's a close second.
Have you seen that?
Dr. Simon is a research professor of biomedical and health informatics, and as a statistician, he plays a critical role in the support of scholarly work for our entire school. He assists research by providing data management, sample size justification, and documentation of research methods. He admits that most of his efforts are behind the scenes and tells people, "My job is to make smart people smarter." Regarding research grants, he has received formal support for 16 grants since coming to UMKC in 2009, with 8 in the last 5 years. This is impressive for any faculty member, but especially notable in that he is a part-time faculty member. In addition, he informally supports many grants, such as the Sarah Morrison Research Awards, as part of his work for the Research and Statistical Consult Service. He has given talks on writing grants for both local and international audiences. His grant work focuses on aspects such as creating a data sharing plan or setting up data safety monitoring boards, often the details that most grant writers feel uncertain about. Providing documentation of the non-medical aspects of a research study makes these grants more competitive and successful, which therefore contributes to the school's research footprint. Dr. Simon has been author on 38 publications since joining the School of Medicine and 12 in the past 5 years. In addition, Dr. Simon has written a chapter on R programming language in big data analysis for bioinformatics and contributed 2 articles to the Encyclopedia of Big Data, describing the U.S. Bureau of Census and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention data sets for researchers. Dr. Simon believes his greatest impact on research is on publications where he is not the lead author, but still played a pivotal role. Examples include 3 papers with a research team using African American churches to deliver healthcare interventions to underserved communities in Kansas City, and 2 papers with a quality improvement team at Children's Mercy Kansas City and Boston Children's Hospital that examined the consistency of echocardiogram readings. He admits that these teams were more than capable in writing their research, but his contributions regarding methods and reporting results helped make smart people smarter. His impact is far-reaching at a Kansas City regional and national level. He has been a lead presenter 20 times in the past 5 years, and he doesn't track presentation where he's not the lead anymore, because that would be too long. Of special note is his collaboration with the Analysis Factor since 2015, which is a training and consulting group providing support to researchers deeply involved in quantitative methods, either working on their own research or serving as statistical consultants for other researchers. Dr. Simon has presented multiple webinars and short courses for the Analysis Factor that have been very well received. He is passionate about supporting early career statisticians. This is just a brief overview of his research and its impact on the School of Medicine, since Dr. Sullivan wanted to finish before 8 o'clock. So for his contributions to the medical literature and elevating the reputation of the School of Medicine, let's congratulate Dr. Stephen Simon as the 2023 School of Medicine recipient of the Faculty Researcher Award.
make your remarks.
Okay. The image that people were talking about, I have an alter ego on the web called Professor Mean. And for people who don't get the bad joke, I point out he's not just your average professor. So I did want to say two very brief things that are self-promotion, all right? I can't resist the opportunity to plug myself. This award is a validation that statisticians are not mere technicians, but an integral part of any research team. And I want you to remember that. We participate in all aspects of research. We're glad to help. Our value is in making you better, all right? Second, there are lots of people who are doing just as good work as I am. Jennifer Allsworth and Anlin Cheng in our department. There's a new guy, Steve Chestnut, in the School of Nursing, Joanna Scott in the School of Dentistry, Billy Anderson in the Block School, and Kamel Rakab in Department of Mathematics and Statistics. If you're writing a grant and you do not have one of these people on your grant, you're making a big mistake, because their bio sketches are going to fill in a big gap and make you far more competitive. So please consider us. We are a very talented group of people, and we want to help you do even better. Thank you.
The next is an inaugural award. It's the Community Preceptor Award. This award acknowledges and celebrates a community preceptor who is recognized for their outstanding community-based patient care while teaching UMKC School of Medicine medical students, graduate program students, and/or graduate medical education residents and fellows. Ms. Erin Aubrey, Physician Assistant Certified, who was one of the recipient's co-nominators, will present the award.
Thank you. It's my honor to announce the inaugural Community Preceptor Award recipient for 2023 is Dr. John Armilio. The PA program heavily relies on community preceptors that are choosing to work with students as a form of professional stewardship, as less than 50% of program rotations are with the school's affiliated hospitals. Dr. Armilio is an internal medicine physician and partner with Connect Care Hospitalists, providing inpatient hospitalist care to patients at Research Medical Center, Belton Regional Medical Center, Center Point Hospital, and Lee Summit Medical Center. He has consistently trained UMKC PA students since 2016, making him one of the program's most dedicated and longest-serving preceptors. He has precepted an impressive 52 inpatient internal medicine rotations, which is 39% of all inpatient medical rotations in the program's history. Additionally, he has precepted 5 students on elective rotations. Besides clinical teaching and individualized performance feedback, he also provides didactic instruction to rotating students, where students spend between 30 to 60 hours per week under his supervision. His learner evaluations are consistently high, making him one of the most popular and sought-after preceptors. His greatest strengths are his ability to challenge students, his intentional approach to teaching difficult concepts, and his genuine passion for teaching. Student comments provide evidence of how valued Dr. Armilio is as a community preceptor. A few examples. Dr. Armilio takes the time with students to teach and show them what internal medicine looks like. He has a good understanding of the student's experience level, and after a time can delegate duties and responsibilities at that level. Another student. He pushed you enough to provide a good learning atmosphere, but also was always there to answer any questions you had, regardless of how dumb you may have thought they were. Dr. Armilio is amazing. The way he runs his rotation should be the standard. He has you see patients, rounds, and new admits by yourself in the morning. Then you meet up to discuss the patients and then chart on them. In the afternoons, he would lecture on a topic that reviewed pathophysiology of some of the diseases we saw. This is the best rotation I have had. And one last comment, Dr. Armilio is a fantastic preceptor. I really appreciated his willingness to teach us above and beyond our patient cases, even amid the stress and workload of the pandemic. Partway through the rotation, I realized that he was coming in on some of his days off for our sake, so that we would not miss days of our rotation. He is obviously a dedicated and gifted teacher, and I learned a great amount. Personally, I have to add that I've known Dr. Armilio for many years through our clinical work at Research Medical Center, and I am so proud that he is one of our program preceptors. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Armilio as the 2023 and inaugural Community Preceptor Award recipient.
Thank you guys very much. To Dr. Sullivan and Dean Jackson and Aaron for that wonderful introduction there. You know, Aaron had invited me and told me that I may be nominated for an award, and I never thought that I would hear such nice remarks from her personally, and the student remarks too. I mean, every year, you know, we'll get a summary of the students that we've precepted throughout the year and hear a few snippets here and there, and so just to hear that today reiterates, you know, all the hard work of precepting students. You know, I'm humbled to be up here with all the other award recipients too. Just hearing all of the hard work you guys have put into everything is phenomenal here. My wife's up there. She knows some of the hard work, and you know, hearing the you know, understanding of the students on coming in on days off and staying late to help review clinical topics is pretty wonderful. You know, the School of Medicine really, you know, has a lot of good applicants to the school, and we always get great students coming on rotation with me. You know, I was a traditional hospitalist for a few years, and then started out on my own venture in private practice, and so we now round at 10 different hospitals, outpatient medicine, nursing homes, and so really tried to bring the students into that to get a full scope of medicine. I've had several students traveling to some of the rural sites with me too. We actually have 2 PAs that graduated from the school here the last couple of years that work in my group. And there are several throughout the years. All the memories have been coming back of all the different students I've had. The very first student, Lindsay, she actually works with a trauma group at Research, and so I've run into her and kept in touch with some of the students, you know, running into them from certain specialties and whatnot. So again, I really appreciate the award. It's amazing that it's the inaugural award too, so you know, I just really appreciate it and all the nice remarks. Thank you very much.
All right, next we have another inaugural award, the Excellence in Simulation Education. This award acknowledges and celebrates a faculty member who is recognized for excellence in simulation-based educational activities at the medical school. Dr. Julie Banderas, Assistant Dean, Chair, and Professor for the Department of Graduate Health Professions and Medicine, as the recipient's nominator, will present the award.
good evening, good afternoon. The inaugural 2023 recipient of the Excellence in Simulation Education Award is Stephanie Painter. Stephanie joined the School of Medicine as an assistant teaching professor in 2020. She has made a significant contribution in just a few short number of years. She did this by developing and implementing a comprehensive, integrated, longitudinal, simulation-based curriculum that spans the entire 7 semesters, 29-month PA program. She has brought the PA program from the status quo to being a leader in simulation activities to prepare students to enter practice providing competent care. One such example includes incorporating point-of-care ultrasound simulation as part of the PA curriculum, which is currently taught in only about a third of PA programs across the country. Ms. Painter has been innovative, versatile, and proactive in teaching herself and seeking mentorship to effectively utilize multiple forms of simulation, including standardized patients, simulation models, and specific skills training. Her simulation curriculum spans the 3 cohorts of PA students. Her efforts are extensive and ongoing to simultaneously coordinate the simulation events of all 3 of these groups at the same time. She also selflessly mentors PA students interested in teaching simulation themselves. Having already served as a mentor for 3 students with their required capstone projects, such as one student who developed an IUD insertion and removal simulation curriculum. A recent graduate of the PA program writes of the deep impact of Ms. Painter's work. Because Ms. Painter recognizes the importance of simulation experiences, the UMKC PA cohorts have better skills training. These seemingly small simulation experiences can have ripple effects beyond what we may realize. Simulation training, especially in the context of PA education, results in increased patient access to treatments and procedures. At the end of the day, that is our mission and purpose as PAs, and Ms. Painter is laying the groundwork. Let's congratulate Ms. Stephanie Painter as the 2023 and inaugural Excellence in Simulation Education Award recipient.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm not great at this kind of stuff. So I'm more of a behind-the-scenes person, but thank you, Julie, for nominating me. It's an honor and privilege to receive the award. I feel like I'm standing among giants up here. I definitely feel like I'm only 3 years in, so I'm still learning, and thankfully, this is a good place to ask questions and learn since we're in a school, and I just appreciate all the support I've gotten from the program over the past few years. So thank you.
We're on the home stretch now. The 2023 Community Service and Engagement, hang on. Our last award, I almost announced who the winner was, okay. Our last award is the Community Service and Engagement Award. This award acknowledges and celebrates a faculty member who is recognized for service and community engagement locally, regionally, nationally, or internationally, while also engaging School of Medicine learners. This can be medical students, graduate students, and/or residents and fellows in these volunteer activities. Last year's inaugural recipient at that time is unable to be here today, so Dr. Julie Banderas, the recipient's nominator, will present the award.
Okay, so the 2023 Community Service and Engagement Award recipient is Dr. Edwin Kramer. Dr. Kramer, oh, sorry. Dr. Kramer is an assistant professor of community and family medicine since 2011. His engagement in community service and engagement at a local, regional, and state level has been an unwavering component of his career. For over a decade, he has maintained, sustained, and provided extensive service to a wide array of organizations influencing a variety of communities, citizens, patient populations, and learners. I would like to share Dr. Kramer's volunteer philosophy. There is endless need for health professionals to be involved in community service and engagement beyond the exam room. First, you need to find or say yes to an initiative that you are passionate about. Then show up, speak up, and help do what needs to be done. It is amazing what can be accomplished when a group of people work together in this fashion to address a mutually identified community need. It is important to include others, such as health professions learners, in community service initiatives when possible. Learn to appreciate the impact of your group's collective work on your community, as well as the ripple effects. That will make an even greater difference going forward. And while doing all of this, show gratitude for the opportunity to serve. Some of his volunteer activities include serving on Lee's Summit Livable Streets Advisory Board since its inception in 2011, the Kansas City Academy of Family Physicians to support members and promote family medicine as a specialty choice and to promote community and regional health. He has taught hands-only CPR to the community. He frequently volunteers at the Sojourner Clinic, serves as a faculty advisor for the UMKC Kansas City Community Health Fair, and provides student guidance for those that presented the mini med school for high school students. He has worked with, mentored, and encouraged students, residents, and physicians to become active in community volunteerism. One of the students that he has inspired to become active in community service writes to Dr. Kramer's impact. And I just have to say, I had a number of individuals that I emailed to ask if they'd be willing to write a support letter. 100% said yes, and I got those letters so quick. And I hardly had to write anything in the nomination because of everything everybody else wrote. But I'll quote one of them. Under the mentorship of Dr. Kramer, I have solved the great debate. Only a selfless teacher could change the entire world. Dr. Kramer effortlessly empowers his students to do great things and serve in creative ways. Without his guidance, I would have never started an anti-violence organization at my university. Without his wisdom, the local free clinic students would not have the expertise required to treat their patients. Without his stories of previous advocacy efforts of making Lee Summit smoke-free and bike-friendly, there would not be such a large spirit of service and advocacy in our cohort. By touching a few lives, Dr. Kramer realizes that the exponential nature of philanthropy can change the world. Let's congratulate Dr. Edwin Kramer as the 2023 Community Service and Engagement Award recipient.
Well, Dr. Banderas, thank you so much for that very generous introduction. And Dr. Sullivan, I want to also thank you for all your hard work on the committee, and I know everybody in the room appreciates that. I'd also like to thank students that spoke out on behalf of my nomination for this award. And if you're watching this either here or online, you know who you are. And yes, you can expect that glowing letter of recommendation in your inbox tomorrow morning. Just kidding, T. Jackson, really. Okay. I also want to thank two other individuals who have
been instrumental in my participating primarily in community health activities. One is my wife, Mary, who's given me permission to be out there, doing these things when I could be home doing something, more visibly constructive, I suppose. And then also Dr. Steve Solansky, a fellow family physician who was the one who asked me to work on the clean air campaign in Lee Summit, when Lee Summit and Independence, including Dr. Bridget McCandless, who was just speaking here recently, were trying to make public places smoke-free. If you can remember those days where we had to endure eating and doing anything in public places in a smoky room. I apologize for being a little late. Most of you probably didn't notice, but I'm going to point it out because there's a really important reason here that I was a little late. I attended the Mizzou PA Emergency Medicine Fellowship graduation luncheon, which I've never done before, but one of our recent graduates happened to be graduating from that fellowship today, and she happened to be Tessa Kramer, our daughter. So it was great to be down there and then be able to be here with you all as well. So congratulations to Tessa. This award is really very meaningful to me. It reflects two passions of mine and probably of everybody in this room. One is making our communities healthier and safer for all of us and for our children, et cetera. And the other one is helping shape the lives and careers of our health profession students and residents. You're all familiar with the phrase necessary but not sufficient. Well, I'm going to turn that on its head a little bit and say that this award is more than sufficient, but really not necessary. And I say that because we've already, all of us have experienced the immense gratification, honor, joy, and privilege of working with our students and out in the communities, and then stepping back and really observing the ripple effects that come from that. So we really are receiving our reward every day, aren't we? So thank you very much for this. I really appreciate it. On behalf of everybody who does these things, I am happy to accept this award. Thank you.
All right. The university-based awards are recommended by the Faculty Awards Review Committee, but are actually selected and celebrated by the university. The 2023 awardees from the School of Medicine were already recognized earlier this year by the university. If you are present, please stand when you are being recognized here. The first award is the Elmer F. Pearson Good Teaching Award that is awarded annually to outstanding teachers in the Block School and the schools of dentistry, law, and medicine. The recipient is based on the strength of learners' evaluations, creative and innovative teaching methods and skills, and educational leadership. The 2023 award recipient is Dr. Emily Hillman, who I know is actually over at the Simulation Center right now doing some teaching. Shocking. All right. The next is the Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Community Engagement. And this recognizes and celebrates faculty who have made engagement with the community a central aspect of their approach to student learning and scholarship. The 2023 University Award recipient is Dr. Stephanie Ellison, and I know that she's not here because she was here this morning for our workshop and had to go home to rest to work a night shift because she's taking care of patients in the community. The Provost Award for Teaching for Mid-Career or Senior Faculty recognizes and celebrates UMKC faculty who are consistently excellent teachers at the graduate, undergraduate, or professional level, as evidenced by multiple measures of teaching effectiveness. The 2023 University Award recipient is Dr. Darla McCarthy, who I know is here, so we can give her a round of applause. And the Trustees Fellow Faculty or Faculty Fellow Award recognizes faculty members who have shown exceptional promise for outstanding future research and or creative accomplishments. The 2023 University Award recipient is Dr. John Spurtis. I don't believe he is here, but is he? No? Okay, all right. So moving on, let's first congratulate all the School of Medicine and University recipients. All right, we would now like to finally recognize the substantial scholarly contributions in teaching, service, clinical practice, and/or research for 61 faculty who have promoted to associate professor or professor rank at UMKC School of Medicine for 2023. At the conclusion of all the names, so what I'm asking you to do, if you happen to be here when your name is read, please stand and remain standing. At the end of whether it's the School of Medicine or whether it's University Health or what have you, we'll applaud in unison for that particular affiliate or school and then move on to the next. First, to introduce faculty promotions for the School of Medicine. Based faculty is Dr. Mike Wacker, Senior Associate Dean and Vice Chair of Biomedical Sciences.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, so the first promotion we'll go to is the associate professors. First one on the list is Chad Touchberry, Teaching Associate Professor, Biomedical Sciences. Next up, we'll go to promotion to Professor. Wael Hassan, Teaching Professor, Biomedical Sciences. Darla McCarthy, Teaching Professor, Biomedical Sciences. And Kristen Wright, Teaching Professor, Biomedical Sciences. Please stand. Okay, let's give them all a round of applause for promotion.
Next, let me introduce Dr. Raghu Adiga, President and Chief Executive Officer, Liberty Hospital, to announce promotions for Liberty Hospital.
Thank you. Associate Professor, Dr. Amy Patel, Associate Professor of Radiology. Congratulations.
And now to announce the faculty promotions for St. Luke's Hospital's programs is Dr. Gregory Howell, Associate Dean for Medical Education at St. Luke's Hospital.
So for associate professors, we have Dr. Matthew Abadera, Associate Professor of Internal Medicine. Stacy Farr, Associate Professor of Biomedical and Health Informatics. Catherine Jessup, Associate Professor of Anesthesiology. Danielle Olds, Research Associate Professor of Biomedical and Health Informatics. And Keith Rastogi, Associate Professor of Radiology. And then for professors, we have Dr. Brent Weibel, who is Professor of Radiology.
I'd like to introduce Dr. Mark Steele, Associate Dean for University Health Programs, who will announce the promotions for University Health Truman Medical Centers for the Hospital Hill and Lakewood campuses.
All right, so first, the associate professors, Dr. Sarah Dubin, Associate Professor of Internal Medicine. Scott Duncan, PhD, Research Associate Professor of Ophthalmology. Kevin Gray, Associate Professor of Community and Family Medicine. Heather Izem, Associate Professor of Emergency Medicine. Geetha Kamath, Associate Professor of Internal Medicine. Shazia Salim, Clinical Associate Professor of Psychiatry. Rishi Sharma, Associate Professor of Internal Medicine. And Anuj Shrestha, Associate Professor of Internal Medicine. And then for Professor Meg Gibson, Professor of Community and Family Medicine. Anand Rajpara, Professor of Dermatology. Fariha Shafi, Professor of Internal Medicine, and David Varan, Professor of Community and Family Medicine. Congratulations to you all.
To announce the promotions from Children's Mercy Kansas City is Dr. Denise Bratcher, Associate Dean for Children's Mercy Kansas City Programs.
Okay. Thanks. It is not lost on me that I stand between all of you and a Friday evening, so we'll do this efficiently. So first off, at the associate professor level is Dr. Joseph Alemo as Associate Professor of Pathology. Dr. Tara Benton, Clinical Associate Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Catherine Doran, Clinical Associate Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Sarah Fouquet, Associate Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Elizabeth Friedman, Associate Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Brian Harvey, Associate Professor of Orthopedic Surgery. Dr. Nadia Ibrahimi, Associate Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Christian Kaufman, Associate Professor of Surgery and Neurosurgery. Dr. Jason May, Associate Professor of Surgery in ENT. Dr. Jennifer McKenzie, Clinical Associate Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Grace Mitchell, Associate Professor of Radiology. Dr. Rachel Moore, Associate Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Laura Neff, Associate Professor of Surgery in ENT. Dr. Lizette Olarte, Associate Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. John Perry, Associate Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Tweeland Pham, Associate Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Michael Platt, Clinical Associate Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Toby Rockefeller, Associate Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. David Skoglund, as Clinical Associate Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Tyler Smith, Associate Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Jade Tam Williams, Associate Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Christian Taylor, Associate Professor of Anesthesiology. Dr. Asdis Wagner, Clinical Associate Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Amy Waters, Associate Professor of Ophthalmology and Optometry. Dr. David White, Associate Professor of Pediatrics. And at the professor level, Dr. Jeffrey Colvin, Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Rana El-Fagali, Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Tara Frazier, Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Jeremy Garrett, Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Paul Grab, Professor of Surgery and Neurosurgery. Dr. Aaron Guest, Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Brandon Kennedy, Clinical Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Sai Nadler, Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Tolu Oyetunji, Professor of Surgery. Dr. Jennifer Schuster, Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Celeste Tarantino, Professor of Pediatrics. Dr. Dustin Wallace, Professor of Pediatrics. And Dr. Henry Ye, Professor of Pediatrics. Congratulations to all of you.
So now if you are in the audience and just, no matter what affiliate you're from, if you have just promoted to associate professor or professor, please stand again so we can recognize everybody in unison. Congratulations. I'll turn it over to Dean Jackson.
So Dr. Bratcher mentioned that she was the only person between you and your evening, but it's actually me. But my remarks are short. So I hope you go home this evening to your families feeling proud and energized to be part of this School of Medicine. The future is very bright for us all. And one of the things that struck me as I was hearing all of these wonderful awards and seeing all of you here today is one of the things that I think is unique about our School of Medicine. It is populated by people who have a passion for serving, I'm looking at you, Dr. Patel. It is people who have found a fit in this school and at the affiliates where you are practicing, and that you are able to focus on those areas of excellence that are important to you. I don't think we can do this work without having that passion, fit, and focus as being part of our DNA. And I think that's what we have here at the School of Medicine. So I am proud of all of you. Go home this evening, enjoy your families, and I look forward to our future. Thank you all.
Appreciate it. Oh, yeah. It really means a lot that
I get to meet JP Armillion. I get a run. You're the other we started. Oh, you're scatter around the city. I think the year off was a good experience. I really was an off. I had the university. She's amazing. She's learning. And we have 5 kids at home too. So my wife doesn't do anything. Oh, yeah, I'm just worried. I think it's almost our senior. She's waiting for the cash machine. Congratulations. I know. That was great. I was like, you were, yeah.